media family, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Today is a very important show because those of us in Georgia, I know other states will be different, but those of us in Georgia, we are back in school. And most of the times there's a lot of things that goes on in the whole school year. So this year we saw it fit to be able to give some meaningful information to all of us have children, grandchildren, and educators. Just come together and talk about some few things. The reason of women of influence is some of the things that we really have to address it in church that we don't have the time to do. That's when women of influence comes in. So this is a topic that, can you imagine, Pastor had to preach Sunday how to prepare your daughter to school. It doesn't fit that way. But when we sit down like this, then we'll be able to talk about some of the important things. So please share the video. This is a video you want to share it across. Because a mother needs it, a father needs it, uncle, everybody needs this information. That's another aspect of us being able to impart our community and do a difference in the community that God has placed us in on here. So thank you once again. And there's a little bit change going on Women of Influence, and I've heard some of you, and I've read your messages. Let me put it this way. Anytime God gives you a vision, God adds up to it. God will give you a small vision, and it keep on growing, and He keep on adding to it. Because sometimes I personally think that because of your faithfulness. When I started this show, I didn't know that it was going to be like this. But God has been adding to us. Last year, by the grace of God, we turned 10 years. 10 years, you have to be doing something good to continue for 10 years. And the Woman of Influence is not just gathering the women that are doing something for the Lord just for 1 year and tell them to thank you. Out of Women of Influence, a charity coming in Hands of Grace, that we take care of widows, pastors, children going to school, and all those things. That's all part of what I do as individual. And also groups for girls. Now this year we're launching boys. So it's extending gradually. And some of you are asking me, what's the meaning of global? We've been global for some time now, but the emphasis of where God is taking us, we need to now make sure that the global is very important, because I am not just staying here in America and doing shows just on Tuesdays. It's going to places. And by the grace of God, we celebrate our 10th year last year. This year, we're still going to gather. The dates that we normally do, that is November, and this year is even going to be more nice and very, very romantic, because guess what? It's going to be brunch, not even dinner. So we are still doing that just to let the women that are working for God to know that the vision, that aspect of vision still stands. But we are extending ourselves as God wants us to extend ourselves. Next year, February 28, that's Saturday 28, we are going to host our first Unstoppable Conference in Ghana, which is a huge, huge thing. Although I'm in Ghana, I don't live there, so it's like going to a place that I really don't live there to do this. So my people in Ghana, guess what? Next year, February 28, you are having your portion of Unstoppable Women of Influence Conference, which I think it will encourage us to do more for Jesus. So that's what the global goes on. We will go on and go on. Jamaica is calling. I have a lot of places calling. So as God give us the strength and God give us the grace, we will continue to work till He calls us home. That is my pledge for Him. So continue to pray for me. So because of that, you will see me every Tuesday. Because my assignment home, my assignment in church, my assignment is increasing. So the every Tuesday show is not over, but you won't see me every Tuesday. So sometimes, like last Tuesday, you didn't see me. I am good. I'm good. I'm good. There's nothing wrong with us. So that's what is going to happen. But we're going to have special shows like this here and there. And every information that I get, I will share it with you. So if there is something wrong, I will let you know. But for now, we are good. So if you don't see me every Tuesday, it's kind of intentional, trying to keep up with what God is doing with us as a ministry. So please continue to pray for me, continue to support us, share our videos, follow us, for all that God is doing. But I have a great privilege today. I always say that when God wants to take you somewhere, you always give you people. There is no way I will find all these brainy, excellent ladies in one place if it wasn't God. And so they are here with me. I will let each one of them introduce themselves to you, so at least you know who they are. So when they are giving you the information, it's the right information, so that our children will be able to do excellent in school. All right, so woman of influence, please help me to welcome these wonderful ladies that are sitting in my chair this evening. Let's welcome them. Ladies, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful. So I will start from my left. Miss, I know you have even the way you want to be addressed. So please, can you introduce yourself to woman of influence for me?
All right. Thank you again, woman of God, for giving us this opportunity. My name is Millicent Yali, and I've lived all my life doing school, doing teaching, and doing education. So currently, I am Georgia State Certified Teacher in special education. That is what I practice now. And I love children, I love young adults, and I love to minister into the community. So thank you once again.
Wow, you're welcome. Next.
First, I want to say thank you, Mommy V, for this opportunity. My name is Precious. I am a senior retail operation IT project manager. I've been working as a project manager for over 8 years, and I am honored to be here just to teach our youth about free schooling. It's out there.
Wow, that is so good. I love that. If I don't have to pay student loan, I will run for it.
Yes.
Yes, Miss, please.
Once again, Mommy, thank you for allowing me to be here on this platform with these awesome women. It is truly an honor. My name is Melisha Liney. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and I specialize in behavioral health.
Wow, thank you. And that's one, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Reverend V, for having me here. Now, I'm grateful to be here with these ladies as well. My name is Natalie Fulton. I am a mental health clinician here in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
All right, thank you so much. So today's show is focusing on back to school, from kindergarten to masters. I think each one of us will take something, out of it, and we are here to just give you information that will help you with your child. Those of us, I can't believe Blessing is on 8th grade. I'm like, is it? I can't believe it. I just remember it was just some years ago that I was pregnant. Then now she's 8th grade, and next year is high school. I'm like, oh my God, time is going.
Yeah.
So let's start it this way. How important is education? How important is schooling? Because we have to know the importance of it before we even give any information. How important it is for us as parents, as people in the community, as church, as pastors. How important is education? You first, please.
All right. Thank you for that question. Now, when we talk about education, it's kind of one word, but it's broad.
Yes.
So I believe what we are talking about now is structured education. And structured education takes place in school.
Okay.
So this is a place that we pass information to learners, and where learners are referred to as students. So It is very important because aside the education we get from outside of the structured schooling, there is a lot of knowledge that has to be passed on by trained people. It has to be passed on in a system. So it is very important to receive this kind of learning or knowledge in a structured place. So it is important for parents to know that, yes, we educate our children at home, and there are lots of things that they learn in the school, in the community. But when it comes to structured knowledge, which we refer to as the academics, it has to take place in the school.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
that's very important. Precious, how important is the same question?
Especially nowadays, education is important. I know in the job market, when you are looking for a job, especially now with us having a lot of AI, when those resumes go through these AI systems, they look for certain terms, they look for certain degrees. You could be the most qualified person, but because you do not have that bachelor's degree, and that can just come from people not knowing what they want to do yet, not knowing where they want to go. And I always tell everyone, start off with the basics. Get a bachelor's in business. You can, it's broad, you can go anywhere with it. So education is important to be considered for jobs these days. Without that education, you can have all the experience in the world. You know, God willing, you will get the job, but AI will definitely pick up on that. And also these jobs, they look for those. Even if your degree is not in the job per se, the fact that you do have that education background, you do have that degree, that is very important to them. So education now is very important.
Okay. Maybe the same question.
I agree. It's definitely important, especially when you're looking at the field that you want to go into.
Okay.
You have to have minimum a bachelor's degree if you're going to go into healthcare. They're not going to look at you unless you're doing coding and you get a certificate in medical billing or medical coding, or if you are thinking about scheduling, you know, a high school diploma is fine. But when you're talking about moving up the ladder to executive, you know, the CEO level, or even like in nursing, just being a nurse, you have to at least have an associate's to be able, before anyone will even sit down with you and have an interview. So I know this generation is not into the whole thing about going to school, but it's very important. In business, if you're going into finance, they're looking for that degree. So we can't bypass it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to do it.
Wow. Natalie.
So yes, education is definitely important. It is important because it unlocks many doors and opportunities for an individual. And it not just unlocks the doors, but it helps your next generation, your offspring, to be able to want to reach that same level or even go further. As it states, my children should be doing better than me, should reach. And if you think about it, when people fill out these FAFSA forms, they ask, what's the highest grade your parents have made? Because there is something in it. If they see your parents got to this level, then it's a greater chance that you're going to either do more, and they're willing to give you that money or give you whatever it is because you're going to be consistent in getting it. So very important.
Wow. So now, this show, we break it in three, for the parents, then we have for teachers, then we have for students. So for parents, in Georgia, school just opened. How can we help the consistency of the routine of school with our children? What should the parents do now that school is open? How can we help with the consistency of throughout the whole school year? Miss Millie.
Yeah, I know many times parents ask how teachers are able to do these things that we do call teaching.
Yeah.
So for keeping routine, for me, the first thing we do is we have schedules, what we call timetable back home.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to have that structured schedule, like you get up in the morning, what should you do? Every time on the clock must have something to do. And then it should be visible. It should be visible to the student or visible to the family. And then you keep to it and you check it off. Okay. And also, One thing that helps us a lot is putting timers on ourselves. So if you say you're going to do something, say you're having breakfast, breakfast shouldn't take the entire hour or two. You should have a time limit for eating your meal. So you can help a student by putting timers on so they know they have to be done by breakfast within 15 minutes. Once the timer goes off, whether you're done eating or not, you have to get up and move to the next task. Okay. And that is what we do. That's why we have bell schedule at school back to back. So I think scheduling and putting timers or timeline on tasks is very, very important.
Wow. So, Mel, this one comes to you. Sometimes, especially like our wake blessing up, we say, oh, I haven't had enough sleep. It's going to affect my mental health. Or something like that. You know, with all that is going on, I know routine is very important and keeping to it. But sometimes too, the response, how with mental health, how important it is, let me put it that way, to still be on routine.
It's very important. And to add to what Ms. Millie was saying, in addition to scheduling, prepping. Okay. So training your 5-year-old, 6-year-old from Sunday evening, let's lay out our clothes, let's make sure our book bag is packed, everything that we need is in there. Because that helps you begin to train the mind on keeping a routine, keeping a schedule. And sleep is very important. If you're going to sleep at midnight and you're waking up at 6 in the morning, you're going to be tired. Okay. And then when you get into school, it can affect your mental health because you're going to have an attitude. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be irritated because you're in a school system, especially with middle school and high school. The noise level is through the roof. Like everybody's talking at the same time. You're going through the corridors and like a whole bunch of different conversations are happening. And that affects your ability to focus. So sleep is definitely important because yes, she is right. It's going to affect her mental health. So at 11 o'clock, you should not still be up. I mean, as you get older, when you're 16, 17, they tend to stay up a little bit later, but minimum at least 6 hours of sleep, 6 to 8 hours is going to get you through the day, be able to concentrate, get every task that you need to get done correctly. But having the schedule and having the routine put together, the pre-prepping, that will help you during the week to stay on task. And the younger we train them, they build that consistency, and they will continue to do it even into the adulthood. So when they go into the job market, they have that they have that knowledge of, hey, I need to prepare for work. So I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to get my meals prepared. So the next morning I'm going to wake up, get dressed, and I'm out the door. And they're not scrambling and flustered.
Wow. Thank you so much. If you are joining us, these are parents, these are educators, these are people who are specialists on their field. These are wonderful ladies that you can deal with. I always say, I don't know what I did that God has blessed me with wonderful ladies like this in my life, but I am very, very grateful for each one of them sitting on my chair. Maybe I brought you ladies to the show to say how grateful I am to each one of you sitting here on the chair. Your impacts in my life and in my ministry, I don't take it for granted. We are going to take a break. Then when we come back, we are still on how important it is to put our students, whether they are in college, high school, kindergarten, wherever they are, put them in a right routine that will follow them even in adulthood. Please join us back. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Hands of Grace Outreach is dedicated to changing the lives of orphans, women, widows, and children by showing the love of Christ. With your continued support, we've been able to provide numerous shipments of food, clothing, goods, and finances to those in need while strengthening the kingdom of God. As we strive to help alleviate human suffering and improve the quality of life, we are in constant need of your generous contributions to help give hope and a future to so many. Our projects and reach has grew tremendously over the past few years by the grace of God. Just recently finishing the completion of a community bathroom in a remote village in West Africa. And we are so grateful that there is so much more to be done. The pastors that we support in remote villages are always in need to help those in their community while continuing the work of God. Consider partnering with Hands of Grace today as we continue to make an impact in the lives of God's people. No amount is too small because what may seem small to you is big to someone else. To donate or make a contribution, visit our website at www.handsofgraces.com. That's www.handsofgraces.com. Hands of Grace Outreach is dedicated to changing the lives of orphans, women, widows, and children by showing the love of Christ. With your continued support, we've been able to provide numerous shipments of food, clothing, goods, and finances to those in need while strengthening the kingdom of God. As we strive to help alleviate human suffering and improve the quality of life, we are in constant need of your generous contributions to help give hope and a future to so many. Our projects and reach has grew tremendously over the past few years by the grace of God. Just recently finishing the completion of a community bathroom in a remote village in West Africa. And we are so grateful that there is so much more to be done. The pastors that we support in remote villages are always in need to help those in their community while continuing the work of God. Consider partnering with Hands of Grace today as we continue to make an impact in the lives of God's people. No amount is too small because what may seem small to you is big to someone else. To donate or make a contribution, visit our website at www.handsofgraces.com. That's www.handsofgraces.com. Hands of Grace Outreach is dedicated to changing the lives of orphans, women, widows, and children by showing the love of Christ. With your continued support, we've been able to provide numerous shipments of food, clothing, goods, and finances to those in need while strengthening the kingdom of God. As we strive to help alleviate human suffering and improve the quality of life, we are in constant need of your generous prayer.
Hello, thank you so much for joining me. Please share the video. We are on YouTube right now, trying to come back to Facebook. You know how Facebook sometimes behaves. So we're trying to come back. But I'll share it on both Woman of Influence page and my personal page. So if you want to follow it, please go to my personal page, Victoria, I think Nanagwe Krepi, full name, and YouTube Victoria Krepi. So you can please follow it. These are very important information that I think it will help you. So share it with your friends, your girlfriends. Just have a dinner with us as we do this. So Precious, we were on still the routine. College students, they think they don't have to be on routine.
No.
Yeah, they think they are so grown up.
We all learned
and
the
my
hard
son
way.
like, okay, I know what I'm doing with that thick voice. At least you are still my son. You live in my house. I pay rent for you. You still have to be on routine. How important it is because they don't sleep.
No, it's also the freedom. Now they're legal enough to do certain things. They have license. They can go places without mommy and daddy. Consistency, like Sis Mel said, is a big thing, but also just for mental health, for them to have their me time. When you come into college, from elementary school all the way to high school, it's really structured. At 8 o'clock, you're in homeroom. At 9:45, you're in this class. And when you get into college, no one cares if you go to school. No one cares if you're in class. There's no roster to call your name. If you're there, you're there. Either way, financial is already paid. The teachers are paid. So if you come, you come. You don't, you don't. I have friends that only show up to class when it's midterm. And they've passed. How they did it, it's by God's grace. But yeah, just that freedom. So especially with college students, they have to realize that nothing is completed without hard work.
Right.
And you know, freshman year, I always say it's our freshman year is the fail year. You're figuring out. You don't have to answer to it if you're not living at home. You don't have to answer to mommy and daddy. Colleges have a lot of entertainment. That's why they structure colleges around things like downtown, where there's parties. There, you know, we just have to keep praying that our trainings they go with it. But even with structure, because they're coming from a structured environment, they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna, it's the found freedom, but they have to understand for their own mental health, they have to have some secure time for themselves. Make that a routine. If it's Saturday or if it's during the week, take that time, because they will get burnt out. Because as they're relaxing, sleeping until 9 o'clock, and you don't have to wake up at 7 o'clock no more, you're going to then get into that routine, and then you go into class and it's like, oh, there's a paper due. And colleges, papers. Papers are papers. They, 10-page paper, 20-page midterm. So just have it for your own mental health. Give yourself grace and structure your time. Time is everything. Time goes, we all have the same 24 hours, but time goes fast.
Very fast.
You will sleep at 9 o'clock and wake up and it's 12 in the afternoon. So just be disciplined.
Okay.
College student, consistency and discipline. That's the key term for success in college. Just having those two things.
Wow.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Natalie, mental health,
Yes.
when it comes to college students, what can we do, as parents, as educators, what can we do about mental health now? Because it's really kind of at the border now.
Absolutely.
It's very, interesting. And me personally, when I have, I know most of our people here, are going to college, and I'm trying to have one-on-one with them before they even,
Absolutely.
leave, like talking to them one-on-one, doing this, because it's very, very interesting when most of the times they are okay. So they get to that stage, then now you don't even have any access to them, even as a leader, as a pastor, to even be able to advise them. So now I'm asking myself, what can I do, to help with that aspect? So what should we do?
I think you hit it on the head when you say having that one-on-one conversation. Communication plays a big role in relationships, especially when an individual, a student, or a child is transitioning. That's when that support is needed. And which level they are transitioning to is what type of tools you are going to incorporate into your parenting or into the conversation or the interaction. And as you're speaking with college students, as they are getting that taste of freedom, for one, keep communication open, and also go in it with the patience, because you definitely have to have patience and give them the freedom to find out who they are, and don't always ridicule, but always also focus on the good parts and encourage them. You got to definitely identify your strengths, your limitations, and speak about it. That goes back to communication. If you have that clear communication open, then it will be open to coming to talk with you. If not you, someone else.
Mommy, if you permit me
please
to add.
add.
The freshman year of college is a do or die,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
especially when it comes to their mental health. And like Cincinnati was saying, when they're going into a transition, and Precious mentioned it as well, they no longer have mommy and daddy to wake them up to say, hey, did you get this done? There's no teacher that's tracking them. You show up, you don't show up, the professors are still going to go forward. And that level of autonomy is great, but it's also dangerous if they're not mentally prepared for it.
Okay.
I have a lot of clients who don't make it through the first half of freshman year. They crash out completely.
Wow.
And like Sis said, communication is really key. Starting from before they leave, daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, whatever the relationship it is that the parent have with that child, maintain that relationship.
Okay.
If they say they're fine, they might not necessarily be fine. You gotta listen past the words.
Okay.
There's nonverbal things that they're saying to you, they're communicating to you that you're not, you have to pay attention. If you're a praying mom and dad, pray.
Absolutely.
Consistently pray, because I'm telling you, the things that they will be exposed to on the college campus away from home is astronomical. And college back in 2001 is very different from college in
Nope.
2025. It is
Oh,
very
yes.
different.
Wow.
The exposure is great. I have a lot of clients who never smoked marijuana. They went into college, they come up for their medical appointment. They're doing marijuana.
Wow.
They're having unprotected sex. They're afraid that they're pregnant. It's the exposure is great. It's really, really great. And we have to cover them in prayer, but we also have to keep that, like she said, the line of communication open, because they either gonna make it through that first year or they're not gonna make it. And that's where the parent has to come in. Like, don't leave them alone. Mentally, don't leave them alone.
Okay.
Nope. Spiritually, don't leave them alone. Physically, don't leave them alone. If you gotta check in your spirit, drive up to that school.
Right.
Drive up.
And I want to piggyback off of what Sister Mel said. Also, if you are a parent and you notice some changes within your child, then definitely you may have to take it a step up, because I know for me as a child, me as a parent, my daughter went to the military. I text her weekly. Whether she can get the messages or not, I text her weekly. And if I don't hear from her or she provide that code word, I'm like, wait a minute, something is going on. So we were able to communicate before she left when something is going on, so I can know this is you. This is a word that you and I know. So this is a word, when you say it, I know this is my daughter speaking to me. And if you are in distress, I know what word we have put in place to know my daughter needs some help, because maybe she's not comfortable to speak in that area that she's in. So those are just some tips that I learned personally as a parent when she went far away. So
Knowing who the roommate is,
yes.
who that friend is.
Yeah. And also, Mommy, to piggyback off that, I know especially with an African background, sometimes you don't want to disappoint your parents. So we have to sometimes teach our children it's okay not to come to us, but find someone that you can go to, that you can. I know in college for me it was my aunt, my mom's younger sister. I go to her for everything. So we also have to teach them that it's okay if you don't want to come to me. I'm okay with that. But find someone you trust that you can go to and have that conversation with, communicate with them. Because if that person is the right person to have the well-being, if you're really in trouble, they will know how to come back to me or come back and handle it. Because sometimes that is things, especially if we raise our children right and they go out and do things, smoking, they're disappointed. They don't want to share that with you because they know their goal is to make you proud. That's why we let them go to college. That's why we, give them the opportunity that sometimes some of us did not have. So it's always good to just let your children know it's okay. If you do not feel comfortable meeting your dad, go to an aunt, go to a church member, go to this person, because if they have your well-being when you are really in trouble, they will know what to do.
Wow. Very, very.
Can I chip in
Yeah,
quickly
please,
to
go
say
ahead.
that transitioning to college, I would advise all parents to use this strategy called gradual release. Yes, they have their liberty, but don't just let them off the
They
hook.
chain like that.
Yeah, release them gradually. Check on them as if
Okay.
they are right in the room with you or in the house with you. And also ask them, negotiate with them to let you know who their buddy is on campus. They are like, I know, I agree with having a go-to person, like in a family or circle of influence, but on campus, they should also have a go-to person, maybe a friend or the roommate, if they have a good one. So if you're not getting to them, find a way and get to know that roommate or that person, so that if you're not getting to your child, you can go around her to get to her through the friend or that go-to person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. Now we are talking, I think when you ladies were talking, expectation came. Because once an African parent comes in, expectation comes in. So this is the question. This is the question. What are some healthy expectations that we can set for our children, academic, social, emotional growth? What kind of data could we use to explain those expectations, especially academics, social. So I want each one of us to pick one. Academics, social, and emotional. These three things are key here. Because the academic is very important. The social, yesterday I was saying when I was leading a prayer, I was watching a video. This 8-year-old boy wanted to kill his whole family. Then they asked, why do you want your mom and dad to kill? Oh, I was watching a video on YouTube and he told me to kill them. Social. It's just amazing the things our children know in this social world. You understand? Then the emotional aspect.
Yeah.
So I will let you pick on academic, Ms. Mel. What expectation do we have to healthy one? You know, that's why I mentioned African parent. Sometimes I am one, and sometimes I think our expectation, we have to take it home. But we live in a different world now. So what are some of the healthiest expectations that we can put on them? You know, as you say, we should not release them, you know, but in a way, put it in that is not going to put mental pressure and all those things. What are some of the things?
First of all, I think the question sounds more like a college paper question, right? It's loaded. Yeah, but I'm glad you have given me a portion of that. So for me, academically, I think the school has their own rubrics and whatever regards to the courses that they are offering, right? But when it comes back to the African parent style of doing stuff, we already set probably the goal before they even start, like go become a doctor, become a this and become that. So that's already pressure on them. But I want to say that mostly they cannot have their way. If you choose a certain school, they have their program, so you put yourself into that program. But then we should always count their interest. Okay. What do they want to do? What would they feel comfortable? What are they called to do? It's not you are not the one going to study whatever. It is them. So we should first allow them to flow in their calling, be comfortable in what they want to study. That for me is the number one healthiest goal we have to have. Then you can, so if that should even start before they go to college. That is why college prepping is very important. So you get settled on that before you even pick the school. So once you pick the school, say you want to go into research course or medicine or whatever, you have agreed on that. They are comfortable with it. Now you move on to the school rubrics, the school expectations. So once those expectations are in place, they have read all those policies, they know how you can get your grades, how you can pass your courses. Then what I would think as a parent you should do is to encourage them. Because you're not going to study for them. You're not going to sit in the class with them. But just check on them periodically. Make sure they are submitting their assignments, they are following the rules. I always say that once you get to college, your instructor is your boss. And you need to pass that class to graduate. And each class is money. You can choose to fail, but then you have to pay again to take the class. So if you have to pay again, why wouldn't you just do one time? So as parents, the expectation should be collaborative. Absolutely. And most of it should be on them now, like negotiate it with them. Don't force it on them. And then once the program is chosen, then the school's expectations fall in place, and then your place is to encourage them to go through it successfully. And of course, we are Christians, so with prayers and guidance,
That is very good. So now, the emotional aspect. How do we handle our children going to school with all this mental health thing and those things? As parents, how do we help them with a healthy one? Mel?
There's this saying that we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
That is a very important saying.
Yes.
You have to allow grace when they're going into college. And even adding to what Miss Millie was saying, that collaboration between you and your child is very, very important. But allow grace in that collaboration. Because I use me for a personal example. My dad had my life all planned out. I was going to go to college, get my degree in biology, come back, go back to the islands and work for the oil company. That's not what I wanted. But I came up and I was like, all right, we'll do it. And you're talking about a person who got all A's, graduated number 7 in their class out of 100 and something people.
Wow.
So I'm coming into a new environment and a culture shock. My first exam was a chemistry exam. I got a C. I dropped that thing like a hot pocket. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Because for me, I have my own personal expectation. I can't get a C on an exam. So I switched to business.
Okay.
My father disowned me
Oh.
immediately.
Oh my.
Because that's not what he wanted for me.
Okay.
Graduated, got my degree economics, started working in finance. Did I circle back and came back to healthcare? I did. But God directed me back there, you know?
Yeah.
But there was no grace. He was just like, no, I'm done. Did not want to financial support, forget it. It was all the way done. But when he saw that how successful I became, then he circled back. He's like, oh, that's my daughter. So we have to give, grace, because it is hard. And as like from a student aspect, when you're going into college, you're looking at, when I was in high school, I was getting straight A's. Everything was coming to me. It's very different when you go into college.
Yeah.
Some of these tests are standardized testing. They're not the regular testing that you're getting from when you were in high school. And I know for me, when I was in college, the first time, I wasn't great at standardized testing. So that created a lot of anxiety on my part because I have to be successful. I have to pass. So as a parent, keeping out the lines of open communication, but also extending grace to them. They may change their major. They may start off with doing business and say, you know what, I want to do cosmetology. It's still business related because they're still going to be an entrepreneur. They're just going about it in another way. So just being open and understanding that change will come, listening to them. Because, you know, as Caribbean and African culture, we listen to respond. But we're not listening to actually hearing to embrace them with what they need in that moment.
Yeah, so for my home personal, I think there's been a lot of changes. Starting from Uriel wanted to do fashion, that's why she went to Ohio. Then it was cold, she missed her daddy, she couldn't stay there. She came home, and now she's doing art to be a teacher or something. That was hard for us, you know, as especially she being our firstborn. If she was here by now, she had been graduated. But because she went to Ohio, and she had to come and start all over again. So now she's competing with Judah. Judah went in as medical because that's exactly what I want. There is no doctor in the Crepes family. And not even, the Crepes have, I think, 1 or 2. The Agre family, there's no doctor. There's nothing.
Not yet.
So please, you just be doctor for me. I just want you to be a doctor. So it was from childhood. Because by the grace of God, which I always say is not for me, all my children are A students. So I always tell him, all this brain, if I was A student, I would not be here. All this brain, God I'm giving you, just do something with it. So with that pressure, he decided to do medicine. He went to school first year, he did medicine. Second year, he dropped. He came home with a nice cake with a lawyer thing on it. I was confused. You know, I'm not a lawyer. So what is it? Just trying to announce to me like, no, I'm doing law now.
that's what they do.
And I'm doing real estate. I mean, I didn't understand. Law and real estate, what do you mean? But third year comes, and he went back to the medicine. But he's still doing the law. He's still doing the real estate. So he's eventually going to graduate with otherwise the law or something and continue the medicine. I brought all this thing in to say that sometimes as parents we want exactly something, you know, but I have decided to really let my children be. You understand? Be who God wants them to be. Even in ministry, I tell them, you're not going to be a minister anytime soon. You know, I've seen people calling Judah Bishop Junior and those. I say, please don't do that to him.
You're right.
You understand? He's not a minister. He might want to preach. It's every child of God have to. So if he's preaching, that's not mean he's a pastor, he's a minister. Please don't even let it get to his head. You know, no pressure. I don't want.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it's where we're coming from. You know, with we not being able to achieve and the opportunity that we didn't have. I mean, in Ghana, we didn't have some opportunity. So when we see it here, it's like we want to grab it and grab every penny, you know, out of it. And sometimes our children don't understand that aspect. But the mental health too is very, very, you know, important. Do you have anything to add when it comes to mental health?
Sure, but I want to share with you, and what you created for your children is that grace and that space to be able to come back. You know, not many people have that opportunity, not many children have that opportunity to be able to explore. But thank God that y'all were able to give your children those things. So I commend you all on that. And you're right, when my daughter came to me, we all went to school. We all went to college. My son, he went to college. He working on his doctrines. My dad went to school, college. When my daughter came to me at 17 and said, Mom, sign these papers, I said, for what? And she said to go to the military. And I said, wait a minute. At 17, before I sign it, you have to give me a really good reason why you want to go first. Because I'm like, you done took me different. I'm thinking you're going to school. I say that to say, school is not for everyone. Like you said, this may not be for him. And we have to understand that and appreciate it and allow God to work in their lives because they're individuals themselves. But one thing I do want to focus on is that the expectations is not always focus on the outcome, but the behavioral aspect of it. And things that you can also focus on when you are looking at the behavioral and what you're doing to get these final meet your goals. Talk with them, communicate, ask them questions, you know, ask them open-ended questions. Like, what in your day was challenging? What in your day that made you laugh? You know, open that communication so you can have a better understanding and allow them to ask you the same thing, because that teaches them to communicate once they leave home. But it's definitely focused on the behavioral, how they get to where they are going, identifying the strengths, identifying the limitations, identifying the challenges. And the only way you can do that is communication and observing and watching. Because it's not just the verbal cues, but it's the non-verbal cues that is very much important.
And knowing the season that they're in too. Because my sister also went to the military. My older sister went to college. I went to college, but my sister after me, she was like, no, I'm going to the military, which totally shifted everything. But she circled back, and she is literally underneath the CEO. She went back for her master's. She's in project management as well. So she did go back to college and got her bachelor's, got her master's. So for some, it might not be the right season for them to start school, but doesn't mean that they're not going to do it. And college is broad. You have the traditional college, which is a university level. There is a trade school. It's still a type of college. There's a community college. So it might not be that they're the right fit for traditional school, but they might be the right fit for a trade school, and they get a trade, whatever that trade may be, because they could become a phlebotomist in a trade school. And that is a much needed area right now in healthcare. A lot of people don't know how to do needles correctly. So yes, seasoning and even just knowing the type of school that will best fit your child.
And Mommy V, they do not have to, when you go into college, you don't have to have it all correct. You don't have to figure it out. I'm a big example. I started off as a nursing student, and now I'm in project management. My bachelor's is in psychology. So you don't go into college thinking you have it figured out, because you're learning yourself, you're figuring yourself out. When you're in your parents' home, you are your parents' child. Your identity is your parents' child. Your identity is in that household. When you finally are out in this big world, no one knows your identity. You have to show the world who you are. You have to now figure yourself out, and now you're figuring, what am I going to do 13 years from now? Because and student loans are a lot.
A lot.
So, thank God I don't have to pay any, but like, you still figuring yourself out, because I'm no longer just my mother's child. Now I'm a woman in this big world where I'm a stranger to everyone. I have to prove myself to society. So who am I?
Okay.
And if you go into college, I know when I went into college, I was determined, because coming from an African home, I remember when you said, your dad disowned you. I remember when I went to my aunt and I said, I want to be a PR. She said, oh, you want to be broke? I said, oh. I said, wow. That's depressing. Thank you. And it was, you don't want to be a nurse. You don't want to be a doctor. You don't want to be a lawyer. Because, coming from an African home, that's all they know.
Yeah.
If you're not a lawyer, a nurse, a doctor, you're wasting your life. And when I got into college, I know I met some people and I met some mentors. And I'm like, wait, you're doing that and you're making more than doctors? And I could just hear my mom in the back of my head, no, you're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a nurse. And I remember walking into a nursing school and I was like, this is not for me. I'm sorry. Waste of money. Sorry. And I turned, never went back. So I always tell a lot of college students, sometimes don't go away for college. Do the community college. They have all the same courses. Because that's how I started too. Less money if you're unable to get grants and financial help. And then you can figure it out. Because you may take an African-American class and realize, I'm interested in knowing this. But your mind is, I'm going in as a nursing major, but you've taken this class and now you're like, wow. And there's so many other jobs out there that you can do African-American studies, get masters in, and make more than doctors and lawyers are making with less time.
Yeah.
That's why I always say work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
So you have time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, if it's your senior year and you haven't figured it out, let's get on our knees and pray. But, especially freshman year, you have time to figure it out. You're figuring yourself, your identity, and then, 90K into student loans, and you wake up one day and say, I can't do this no more.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about, our students from kindergarten to, very interesting. It seems like it's focusing on the college students more, because that is where the challenge is, actually, where the challenge is. Miss Amelia, I want to ask you, how important is time management when it comes to academics, education, everything? How important is time management?
All right, thank you. I think it's as important as when we say time is money. Because at the end of the day, you are going to school, receive education, knowledge, and all of that to be able to become financially independent, right? So getting that money out of your time, start right from college. I did say earlier on that the colleges have their structure in place. They have their everything set up for you, and you decide to walk in there. So they are not going to run on your time. They are still running their time. They are running their system.
Yeah.
So if you go in there, you have to fit into their system. So if a course is supposed to run for 6 weeks, and you decide that you want to run it your own time, you're going to be failing. Because when it's time to graduate or submit your final paper and it's not ready, they are not going to wait for you. So you have to realize that it's as much as important as time is money. So if your end goal is to get a good income or revenue from whatever you are studying, then put in that time into it. Put the work into the time. That is how the money will come out of the time for you later on.
Wow. So let me say I have a kindergarten or pre-K or whatever. I'm forgetting all these things now. But like lesson, 8th grade, 5th grade, and all those things. How important is time management for even the young people? Because I believe in something, and I always tell my children, you are growing every day. If you don't do the right thing today, you won't do it in the future.
Absolutely.
So as young as they can be, even a kindergarten, that I'm a new parents, my child going to How important is time management? One of you can pick
I
up.
think time management is very important. And, you know, when they're young, like I said, I have my grandbaby, she's 3, they don't understand what time is.
Yeah.
Okay.
None at all. But you can do things to help them understand schedules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what we do in the daytime. And when she know it gets dark, it's nighttime. When it gets day, she's up, she ready. Daytime, she up. And she expect throughout the day, she's supposed to be up because signified daytime is up. So setting small tasks for them to do throughout the day, definitely limiting social media and social time.
Yes.
We only have 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Between 8 and 10 is sleep. Maybe another 8 is at school.
Yeah.
And then the remaining is with you and your child. And you don't even get all of that because they are doing their thing and you're doing your thing. So being focused on maybe getting a schedule, a daily planner, putting something on the refrigerator. This is what we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Start small. On Tuesdays, we do laundry. On Wednesdays, we got Bible study. On Thursdays, this is what we're going to do, family time. On Fridays, we go to church. Saturdays is your day. Those are just small schedules for the week. And then as they get older, they can start scheduling throughout their day. What are you going to do today between these hours, this hour? So teaching them the small aspects first and then graduate into more detail is a baby step for them to be able to identify and understand what time management is and what I need to be doing on this time, because it's a purpose. This hour is a purpose. The daytime is a purpose. Do what you have to do. Get up, wash, brush your teeth, get ready, go to school, interact. Nighttime is sleep. So there's a purpose for everything. And teaching that, I think, will eliminate a lot of unsurety in life. Because if you have a phone, what I thought a phone is to talk on. Now your phone is to do everything.
Everything.
Times change, but everything still have a purpose.
Okay. So I have
Believe
5
it or
years.
not,
Okay, go ahead.
even from kindergarten, like my son just started preschool, but he's in the elementary school. They actually teach them time management from the time they start. Like they have breakfast at this time, they have lunch at this time is playtime, this time is outdoor time, this time is academics. So they actually start them from pre-K to preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, what time management is by the schedule that they keep.
And also us being a example.
Okay.
My son just started kindergarten and structure. So in the mornings, I had a bad habit of in the morning I get up and I'm checking my email for work before. So when he started seeing me laying there, so when he wakes up now, I set that example. When I wake up, I'm going straight to the bathroom. So now he knows when he gets out of bed, he goes straight to the bathroom. So just setting that example too. Sometimes, during dinner time, I am very guilty for it. I put their food down and then I'm on my computer getting ready for the next day, next meeting. And then I started seeing that they're like, okay, now they're getting their tablets because so I set that expectation when it's dinner time, everything's away. Phones are off, everything's away. This is our family time. And when you come from school, what do you do first? You go upstairs, you take your shower, you come down. So you have to set not only that routine, set that expectation, that discipline, but also be an example. And a lot of our parents also, they always say, do as I say, not as I do. And I'm learning in this new generation, that does not work. It does not work because these Gen Zs and new generation, they're quick to say, but you do it, but you do it. So I remember my daughter threw it in my face one time. I was like, oh, okay. So then, so you have to not only say those things, but also do it so they can follow it. And then that discipline when they're in kindergarten, that discipline, hopefully by the grace of God, will take them through. And then when they get to college, they, the saying, train a child, I'm definitely about to say it wrong, but
They wouldn't depart.
there you go. Yes, I'm still learning. Give me grace.
Grace for you.
Yes, so, and I know for me it was like that when I went to college. There were certain things that I just could not stomach when my friends were doing it. I had a lot of friends that did drugs. I had a lot of friends that drank. But for some reason, I just could not stomach it. And to go back to, Mommy, your question about social, my aunt always told me, whatever you do out there, if you can come stand in front of God, your parents, and yourself, and you're okay with it, no judgment.
Yes.
But if you are ashamed to look at yourself, to look at your parents when you do those things, don't do it. So for me, you know, that was something I know I couldn't stand in front of my mom and say, hey, Mom, guess what? I smoked weed today. So I know I couldn't do it because as an African parent, first of all, the slap, the hot fire slap you will get. So, you know, so for me, there were certain things that even when I had friends from different culture, never understood why I never did it. And, you know, we all make mistakes, yes, but you know, just having that, because that was structure on me when I was younger, that expectation.
Yeah.
So, you know, that goes into social too.
Wow. How important it is for us to be involved, you know, in our child education. How important it is, Ms. Minnie?
Very, very important. So education in school,
Yeah.
I think it stands on 3 legs, if I'm right. The student, or maybe even 4, the student, teachers, parents, and the community.
Okay.
So before a child starts school, I believe the parents even start the education.
Okay.
So before, like, you are your child's first teacher. Parents are I would say they are their children's first teachers, because they learn to know your name first before they come to school. They learn to maybe your language before they even come to learn the other languages. So if you started education at home and it's worked to some point, I don't see why you want them to come out of your family or away from you to be in a structured environment to learn, and I want to step back from it. So I feel it's very important, because whatever you started with them that was working, you have to help teachers or school to carry on from there. Okay. Then we work hand in hand. So whatever we start to do and it's working, it has to continue from home. Okay. So I told you I do special education, and we check progress based on data, right? And the things that we do, the strategies that we use at school that works for our students, if it doesn't continue from home, it's like they come back and we have to restart again. Wow. And it doesn't help. So it's very good that as parents, we should be part of our children's schooling. We have to build good relationship with the school, with the teachers first and foremost. And we are able to tell what's happening a day before your child gets to school. If I'm able to know as a teacher what happens a day before, even in the morning, if you tell me your child is moody this morning on the way to school, I'm ready to receive that child, so that when he comes and he's not following my directions, I know why, and I'll give grace. Yeah. Because Mom already told me that this is what is happening. I have students that their parents will email me, well, he didn't have a good sleep last night. So when he comes, if possible, let him lay down. So then I know ahead of time. So when he comes drowsy, I'm like, okay, I already know what happened. I'm not going to pressure him, because you won't get nothing out of that child when he comes in sleepy. So I give them grace, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, and they get up and they are ready for the day. So in every way possible, it is just very important that parents should not take themselves away from their children's education. There is so much that you can share with me, and I can share with you, so that together we can help these children grow up.
So what happens when a parent is not agreeing with a teacher? What happens? Because that's sometimes a challenge. I mean, I have asked a switch in a class.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do when it's like that?
Okay, before we can say we are changing your child's teacher. Every system is different, but I believe there should be conversation. It should get to a point of maybe out of control situation that a parent will request for change of teachers. And most often, the teacher might not change, but your child might be removed from that class. Because if it's not working with you and your family with that child, maybe other student is working. So you have to follow through the structure. First, you start with the teacher. I always say the go-to person is the teacher. What is happening? What is the problem? What is the issue? Have conversation with the teacher. And I know that sometimes they'll be like, okay, the teacher doesn't like the child. Okay. One way that you know there is actual dislike for your child is when the teacher is always using the child as a messenger. Like something happens and the teacher is not communicating with you, the parent, but always telling the child or just making notes. If it gets to that point, the teacher should be able to come to you and talk to you. No, this is happening to your student A or B. But if the teacher is quiet or there is that break between you and the teacher, and it's always the child coming home to report to you, then there is a question mark.
Okay.
So at that point, you should be reaching out to the teacher or reaching out to the school admin.
Yeah, and find
Yes,
out what's going.
yes.
No, I love you saying it, and I asked for a purpose, and I love a teacher, saying it, because I've heard a lot of parents, a teacher that didn't like my son or my daughter. But sometimes you have to hear it from both sides.
Yes.
You understand? You have to hear it from both sides. I have 3 children. Uriel is 23, and I've never been at any principal office to talk about any of my child. I have a teacher, I think the only teacher I have was Uriel, one of her teachers. And what you said makes sense, because this woman will not say anything. Then Uriel say something, then I will call. Then now she was like calling my house almost every day, leaving messages. So I have to go to the school and request, a meeting and everything. Uriel wasn't actually removed from the class, but she left. She left the school. And when she left, then a lot of things came up. So it wasn't just even Uriel, I think it was just a character. But I think that, as you said, it's our children, we educate them from the house, and we have to find a way to be part of their life, whether they're in elementary, middle, high school.
Yeah.
I remember high school, I thought they still have the privilege of having lunch. So I think it was Judah that I was going to go to lunch. He said, Mommy, high school, we don't come to lunch.
No.
It's finished. And middle school, high school, please don't come here.
Yeah. No.
So it's good to be part of their life. I think I have another question. If anybody wants to add anything to it before I ask them.
I would
Next question.
definitely just share, just when you have an issue, talk with your child and document.
Okay.
When you go to the teacher, document. When you talk with the principal, document.
Okay.
And what you should do is send a follow-up email so they can make sure that they received it and understood. So just in case it escalates and has to go to the school district or whatever the case may be, you have supporting evidence as well.
Yeah.
So,
And I also would say, Mommy V, I know like we as church members, we always talk about the spirits that we're battling. Our children also battle these spirits.
Yes.
They, there are some teachers. I remember my daughter, first grade, the first day of school, and we have to ask God sometimes for discernment also, because sometimes our children are one way with us, and in school they're another way. That does not mean we should always, because I do know, we don't expect our children to act a certain way, but peer pressure is a thing. Our children sometimes there are just people in life, just like with us as adults, that just will see our children's light and spirit and just do not like them. My daughter, the first day of first grade, her teacher called me and said my daughter was disrespectful. First grade, first day of school, never had any issue with her. So, I'm one of those parents where I'm not going to just discipline my child because a teacher, I'm going to ask, because the teacher may be right. You may have been disrespectful. What is their definition of disrespect?
Okay.
And then what is your expectation of disrespect in our household? And we combine it. But just the same way with you, she ended up leaving because I took it to the Bible. Because every day it was a complaint. Every day was something. So also, we have to pray over our children. But there are some teachers, and there are some parents, and there are some students. It's not just a physical. It can be also spiritual. You know, we pray before we take our children to school, and there might be someone in that school that is there for a purpose, that is beyond the purpose that we took our children for. And now they see that light in our children, and now they're the target. And, you know, so we have to also ask God for that discernment as well.
Yeah, I had that similar experience as well with my son when I pulled him out of the previous school that he was in. They were, you know, the therapists were coming into the school to help him with certain things that he had deficits in. And I remember the supervisor, because she was coming in with as well, when we took him out and he was with a friend of mine during the day, she said, I remember her calling me and telling me, he is so much more happier when I see him now than when he was in school. So yeah, so the environment, some teachers, they see the calling on your child's life. They see the gift in them, and they try to dim it down. Like I remember getting phone calls every single minute. There was this one teacher, and I just had to just pray and just keep my mouth closed, because sometimes I was just like, yeah, you're picking up my child. And I can see this shift, like when I pick him up, he was ready to go. Versus with another teacher, he was happy, he was joyous. So parents, I've learned even in mental health with the children that I work with, the parents who are involved, you hear less things from the school, and the teachers pick on them less. I mean, it's not a hard fasting rule, but the percentage is a lot higher versus the parents who are not involved. You see more issues with that child because the teachers feel like, some teachers feel like, oh, well, no one is really checking on you, so I can abuse that power.
And that's what we have to hold ourselves accountable, because we do get, especially if you're a single parent, you get wrapped up in providing. We provide more. A lot of friends I went to high school with, we joke around and say we were orphans because you never saw our parents. Our parents were always working. We were provided for, but they were not involved. So that's something I'm learning, is to be involved. Be involved. And I remember one of the counselors, when we did the evaluation middle, and they said that we can tell the involved parents versus the uninvolved parents in the children because of how the children are. They're learning. You know, nowadays they have the No Child Left Behind. Children, they don't get homework no more. So it's like, now you have to, as a parent, take that extra step and set rules, set boundaries in your house. School doesn't end because you got out of that building. School, when you come home, there's still work for you to do. Because I told my children's teacher when they were, now they're virtual school, but when they were, I don't know how you do it. 26 personalities, one teacher, different trainings. And now parents are getting younger, teachers are getting younger. I'm older than some of the teachers. Babies teaching babies. So it's now we have to understand, especially as parents, is the school system versus our morals and values. And we have to make that decision. And, you know, like Miss Melly said, that we have to co-parent with our teachers. We are partners. And I tell my children all the time when they come home and they tell me something, I said, what are their rules in their classroom? What are your rules at home? They have, that's their home. We're co-parenting. I am very involved. I tell my teachers all the time, I am one phone call away. I don't care where in Georgia I am. I am driving. And you know, you can see that engagement. And also once you have that, these teachers know that they can come to you and you're going to handle. Because I've been in situations where I've seen parents where the teachers are trying to get through to them about their children, and they're so defensive, and they're so, my child never, and
not my child.
Yeah, exactly, not my child. It must be you as the educator. And it's like, first of all, shout out to all the educators, because I learned that in COVID when I had to teach my children at home in COVID, you know, and that's why my children teacher, especially doing teachers appreciation, I'm not the little notebooks. I really give them gifts because I don't know how you guys are doing it. You know, different spirits are coming in there and different parents. So yeah, we definitely have to co-parent. We're partners with our educators.
And you said it, 26. You got to remember the teacher have 26 kids opposed to us being one with our kids. And it is a collaborative approach, just like we are single, some are single moms, that's a single teacher. And single moms would love an extra hand and help. And that's where parents come in. Teachers would love an extra hand and help. And it's not just in the classroom. You got to remember, it's the school bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the football
yeah.
field. It's
Yes.
the
You
practice.
Know who's
you
driving
know?
your child
You
to and
have
from
to.
school.
Yes.
Right.
Communicate.
it's-
And now teachers, they have where the bus drivers, they give them a phone now, and you
Yeah.
can text them and
Yeah.
call them
Yeah.
to know that, hey, is my child on the bus today? And, and also take the extra step. Like my daughter, she's 9, but she has a phone, and I have a tracker on there. So I know where she's at. I pinpoint all the locations that she's supposed to be. And when she gets to that location, it pings me that she's there. We have to, especially in this generation, in this day and age, we have to take that extra step. Back in my days, we went outside, we came back when the lights were on, we were at our neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Now our children now do not have that luxury of that freedom because of the world we live in now. And some of us, we have God that watches over it, but we have to take that extra step. We have to take that, and sometimes, you get, oh, you're just a paranoid parent. I'd rather be a paranoid parent and my child's coming home every night than for me to be on the news asking you where my child is.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't want to accept the world that we are in now, but this is the world we're in.
It is what it is.
And teachers are not in school just to educate your students. Like you said, teachers are in school sometimes to take their light, to do those things. We are not just fighting the flesh, we are fighting the spirit. So we have to come together.
Yeah.
Encourage
You know,
parents.
yes,
to come.
go to
You gotta-
open house.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
to keep
Get
them
to know the
encouraged.
parents in your neighborhood.
And work will always be there. Sometimes
Yeah.
we and this is for me, especially me. We are so worried about providing for our children, and we're there for the jobs. We're there for all that. But these jobs will lay us off and don't care that we.
2.2 seconds.
And they will have a meeting and say, after this meeting, access shut down.
Get your
and your
stuff.
biggest investment are your children.
Oh, yeah.
We all, and I joke around, and I tell my children, I said, I'm doing this because my lifestyle when I turn 60, 70 is going to be on you. Because I'm giving you what you need now, because I'm going to live my soft girl life when I'm old.
And I think too, they schedule meetings when parents, because before I can go just drop in and sit in the classroom. But I think you have to have a schedule and you have to
Yes.
reach
And
out.
it's always in the middle
So
of the
you
day
have to
when
do
you're at
that.
work
You have to
and
just
stuff,
take the
yeah.
time, take a lunch break, take off early. But I encourage parents to definitely be involved with your children's education. And it's not just in the classroom; it's on the sports field. It's
And
at
their
the
friends.
bus stop.
And
It's
their
with the
friends.
friends. It's
Know
at-
who their friends are.
outside.
The friends'
Everything.
parents too.
Yeah.
And I want
I
to,
try to.
yeah, I want
Try
to add that. Sorry to pick again on the African community.
Yeah, pick
I
on
don't
that.
have statistics, but by observation,
Yeah.
we are the least involved.
That's true.
Yes.
And
No,
then,
that one
and I want
Yes.
to go in defense of school system, especially where we are. There is so much put in place that you cannot excuse yourself. Now we have Parent Square. You are chatting on WhatsApp. Parent Square is like WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yes.
You get notifications. And we have so many languages. We have interpreters. If you want to communicate with the school and you cannot speak English, they will get you someone who speaks any of your languages. So, and we have parent liaisons in some of schools. We have parent center in some of the schools. We have even opportunity to go learn the math to be able to help your child at home. So I think where we are now, even though you might not be able to go in person, which most school systems do not allow that for safety reasons, you cannot excuse yourself because they have put so much in place. And guess what? It's our tax money.
Yeah.
If I tell you how much these school systems are spending on these apps and vendors that we buy things from, it's a lot of money, and it's our tax money. So find a way to be part of, spend some of it by getting involved. If you need help, go to the school, and the language shouldn't be a barrier.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you are shy, then you have it on your phone. Chat. If you cannot speak, chat.
Yeah.
Respond to messages.
Yeah.
Look in your child's
Create that
backpack every day.
relationship.
So those are the little ways that we can be involved.
That is very good. Ms. Mill have this wonderful information put together. It's on Amazon. So please just go there and look for Millicent Yali. This is good. This is back to school, and it's for parenting, child care and all those resources put together for you. Couple of them here. We have one in elementary, and there is one middle school. I wish when Maya was going to, I have these things.
Yes.
Middle school and high school. Okay, so these are good informations that you can get on Amazon, and please just get it. Reading, I love reading, and I always say just add up to you that intake. But at least to have something, that you can go through it and see. And she is educator. I mean, she has been educator
And
all
a
her
parent.
life. And parents, she does a special case thing, and which sometimes, typical African, we have issue when our child has special need. But guess what? In the world that we live in, I have seen deaf people that are in a big pole somewhere, blind people. I mean, British MP one time was, I think, British Prime Minister was a blind man in the whole Britain, and was able to do his service excellent. So if you have a special need child, it's not a sin. It's not a sin. Just make sure that you get them all the information that they need, that have been provided. As she said, it's our tax money.
Yeah.
That I always tell Bishop, this park thing that we work on, that sometimes our area, just me and Bishop in the morning, we can count the amount of our skin. People walking, and it's just these Asian people and Caucasian. And I say, you see, my people, we won't even come and exercise. It's your tax money. You don't want to enjoy. As she said, please, education is not free. It's your tax money.
We're paying for it.
Yes.
Mine went up this year, okay? It's going up. So let's take advantage of things like this that are put together to help us, as parenting, and also to help with our children. So please make sure that you go online and get these materials. Woman of Influence approved.
Thank
Just
you.
go and get it. But the last question I want to ask is peer pressure. Peer pressure is of the charts now. I mean, it looked like today I'm looking on my home. So this 8th grade session was very, very interesting. And, we went to New York as a family. We were doing revival and also having time, with the children. And everywhere we go. So when we get to New York, I noticed that they have plans. They didn't tell me they have plans here. But they have plans where they want to go and shop and everything. And I heard, you were in lesson, they won't even whispering and everything. We go to a shop and they will separate themselves and they come and the thing is like packed like that. I look like the daddy's face, But the way she's dressing now to school is different. A little bit, I've seen that she have upgrade, she's very cautious about 8th grade. And for me, I'm just observing it. But there's so much pressure
A lot.
on these children from even kindergarten. They will ask you, your pants is not straight. You're this. I mean, there is so much pressure all broad. How are we going to help our children with peer pressure? Starting from you.
For me, I think there's a saying that no man is an island, right?
Okay.
So definitely you always be with people wherever you find yourself. So with children, the first thing is to teach them to believe in themselves.
Yes.
I am a strong believer of self-belief. Like it's internal.
Yeah.
You see, you should just put it in them right from when they were children. Tell them you love them. Tell them they are pretty and they are handsome. Let them know it. Let them believe in themselves before they even go out there. So that no matter what, they will try to compare, but that internalized belief will always overcome whatever is external.
Wow.
So if you don't teach them that, they will have low self-esteem. And for me, one reason people succumb to peer influence or peer pressure is low self-esteem. If you don't have high self-esteem, you always want to fit into the boxes or shoes of other people. You want to look like somebody else, so they are in white, you want to be in white too. But if you believe in yourself internally, you have it inside you, you'll be in a blue shoe, and in your mind's eye, you are seeing yourself that you are in a white shoe too.
Okay.
So I think parents should do their best. It's not too late to start. If you haven't done that yet, start internalizing self-belief in your children. And that is how one major way that you can come clean when it comes to peer influence. Okay. Let them believe in themselves, who they are, black, white, green, or whatever. You are who you are. You are one of a kind. So why are you pushing to be like someone? Why do you want to belong to? Let them feel belong to themselves. Yeah. That is the way to go for me.
That's good. Precious. Peer pressure.
Encouragement.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Encouragement, affirmation, and exercise. Like Miss Melly said, just letting your children know. But what I will say is, do not tell them who they are. Let them tell you who they think they are. I know with my children, we have our affirmation in the morning, I am, and then they complete it. I am strong, I'm a child of God, I am beautiful, I am they tell me who they are. And if they say something that I think they need to work on, I'll let them know, why do you think that you are that way? Okay. Tell me, why do you feel that way? My daughter always joked, you can't tell me who I am because I'm black girl magic. That's her biggest thing. Teaching them that the skin they're in, there's only one of you. Yeah. And there's a reason there's one of you. God created you just for you. Like, you are who you are for a reason. So let them tell you their purpose, and you guide them. I've learned that we should not tell. We can't, they're humans, they're their own people. It's only by God's grace where they're going to go. We hope for the best. So just by ensuring them who they are, let them look at, like, exercises I do with my children. Look at yourself in the mirror. What do you like? What do you want to fix? And, and then you go from there. If they say, oh, I want to fix my hair, why do you want to fix your hair? Yeah. Where did you see that this hair is not okay? Mm-hmm. And then ask them, well, this is your Bobby. Is there any other Bobby in this world? Mm-hmm. Do you know any other Bobby that looks like you? Mm-hmm. Well, then that's why you are unique. You are who you are. So just that affirmation, just ensuring them that who they are and who they think they are, they're not wrong. Mm-hmm. We all have things we need to work on, but who you are makes you who you are. Mm-hmm. So just having that, giving them that strength and that confidence within themselves. So when they do go out and the world is telling them who they are, they don't have to say, my mommy told me I'm this person. Mm-hmm. I know that I'm this person, and my mommy agree with me, or my daddy agree with me. Give them that confidence. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard for us to allow our children to do certain things and say certain things because we want them to not be perfect, but we want them to understand that you are strong. Yep. But if in that moment if they feel weak, why do you feel weak? Mm-hmm. What is it about today that makes you feel weak? What can you change about it and make you strong?
All right, that's good.
Mm-hmm. The idea of peer pressure, even bullying, it starts in the home. Yes. Mm. My caution to parents and my plea to parents is set aside your biases when it comes to your children. Mm-hmm. Each child, like Precious said, are created individually. Mm-hmm. And
don't compare.
Don't compare. Mm-hmm. Uriel is not Judah. Judah is not blessed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So knowing and understanding each individual personality, each individual strength and weakness, you're able to guide them and mold them so that when they do go into school, no one can say, hey, come and try this. Mm-hmm. No, I'm good. Mm-hmm. The idea of low self-esteem won't pop up. Because from the home, the parent understood the assignment for that child. And from there, they begin to train them and help raise them in that aspect. Versus the opposite, when the child is being bullied by their siblings, even their parents at home, they go out and look for love in the streets. And then they try everything. And they're more susceptible to the bullying.
Yeah.
So it starts at home.
Wow.
And you're right, it starts at home. Like Ms. Millie said, you have to encourage them, you have to feed in them, you have to give them that positive affirmation, because if not, someone else will. And it may not be what they need to be hearing or seeing. One major influence is social media. Is all of these things that's going on. So it's even not just in school, but it's in the home because they have the screen. So being able to encourage them before and set the time with the social media. And like I would tell my son before he go to school, every morning back then, I would say, listen, like Ms. Millie said, that box. When you sit and listen to what these children say, if someone call you something, say you can't do this, you can't do that, you put yourself in a box. And when you put yourself in a box, what does that mean? You can't expand. So don't allow them to put you in a box from what they say. You're Joseph, that's his name. And I say, don't follow no one else's trail. Blaze your own and let others follow you, if that's the case. And you follow it with discernment. You follow it with leadership. And you have to do these things. And I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing, but I think it's good because as you hear him now, he said, I'm Joseph. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you know who you are. And you just got to encourage them. You have to, starting from 2 and 3, you got to communicate. You have to.
And parents with special needs children, don't let that special ability that they have define them.
Right.
One of the things I teach all my clients, from the youngest to the oldest, you are X, Y, and Z who deals with this. It is not who you are. It's not your identity. Because when they begin to identify with what is quote unquote a disability, it disables them and they cannot grow.
Wow. That's very, very powerful. That is very powerful. And I see it, you know, me as a pastor, what I really don't want to do is to sometimes look at how people are behaving or what they are going through to say that that's who they are. So it's very, very important. You know, that is a very great statement. If we have disability, special, whatever, they are not that.
Right. Yes.
Whatever God created them to be, they will be.
They will be.
Whatever God wants them to be, they will be. We don't label them because God does not make a mistake. God does not make a mistake. So thank you so much for joining us. Our last word before we go today, your last word.
I always say this to my circle of influence or people that are close to me. One thing, there appears to be always a conflict between school and home, teacher and parents. But one thing that we forget is that I still don't have statistics on this, but it looks like most teachers are parents too.
Yes.
That's what it should give us assurance that most teachers are parents. So if I am a parent as a teacher, and my child definitely is not in my classroom, so I found my child in another teacher's classroom. So I see that parent in me, and I'm not speaking for every teacher. We have bad nuts. But I feel like every teacher has that parenting factor in them when they set into the classroom, knowing that their children are also with someone. So we are not that, I don't want to use the word mean, like we care. Let me just be more positive. We care. So be assured as a parent that your child is in good hands. And we operate with rules. We don't just do whatever we want to do. And most schools professionally encourage teachers to use something we call a strategy called differentiation. So like we try to meet each child's need. We have 26, but they don't all learn the same way. We have learning styles and things, and we put all of that into account when we are preparing our lessons, when we are giving instruction. So we differentiate our lessons. Some people are just auditory, some people are visual, and all of that. So we can't just put all of them in one box. One lesson, but taught in different ways. That is why you see all of them out of 26, at least 90% comes out passing.
Yeah.
because we don't use the same way to handle each of the students. So believe in us. It's a system. It's in place. We are trained. We have bad notes, but the good ones outnumber the bad ones. So be assured that as school has reopened, your children are in good hands. And we are parents too. Most teachers, male or female, most of us are parents. And our children are with other people. So we put that into mind when we are dealing with or handling the students. Thank you.
And we are going to continue to pray for our teachers because
Yes.
it's a very hard work.
It
Some
is.
if they ask you to go and teach, you won't teach.
No.
So if you can't teach, just pray for them.
Yeah.
That believe in that. And as a community, that's why we are having this show. As a community, we are trusting God that may God give us excellence, set apart teachers who, as she said, they are parents too, that they will have that heart of compassion when it comes to dealing with their teachers. But prayer make everything possible. So please, if you go down as a parent on your knees, please remember to pray for your child teacher. I think that one will help. Precious, yes.
Just know that you don't have to figure it all out. We are humans. We're going to make mistakes. It's not how you fall, but it's how you get up and continue. And just put God first. No matter what you do, put God first. He will always guide you. So that's, He will.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Parents, your child belongs to you. We lend them to the school system for a couple of hours. So you're their first covering. So cover them daily. Even when you're at work, cover them. Listen before we judge. We listen. Let's try not to judge at all. But if we're going to judge, let's judge righteously. And last but not least, love.
Yes.
Because a lot of children are lacking love. Like Precious said earlier on, we spend so much time providing, but forgetting the love aspect, the emotional aspect. So in the midst of providing, still loving them so that they won't go out into the streets to find love and they find it in the wrong way.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice
Well,
note there.
yes, for parents, patience, patience, patience. And for students, if you need to reach out to someone. If you can't talk to your parents, there is a number, 988. And if you need to text, it's 741-741 if you need to talk about anything. So,
Yeah, which is very, very important. So we pray for a very successful school year for all our students and our educators, that may God continue to guide. We in Gwinnett County, I always say that when I came to Gwinnett County, I didn't know that Gwinnett would be the way it is. But in all things, I mean, the city have grown, the city is improving every day, and we also have our challenges in the school system and everything. But what can we do? We just have to pray. That the Bible says that it's God who chooses governments. It's God who chooses leaders. Sometimes leaders are chosen. And we might disagree or agree, but guess what? Prayer can change all things. So we commit all educators, the superintendents of Gwinnett County and all of them, and the workers, everybody that's involved in the school system. We pray that may God give us a wonderful school year, no shooting, no foolishness. We curse them in Jesus' name. And we pray that may God strengthen our students to know why they are in the classroom. They go there for a purpose. May that purpose be fulfilled. And God give more grace to our teachers to do what they do best. We are very grateful for every teacher. I mean, I know I cannot teach mine. So we salute you all for all that you do. So thank you so much, and we are going to pray for you throughout the school year. But thank you for joining me today. Please, if you follow me on social media, Grace Place, we have turned our plate upside down. So I'm just wondering how these ladies are still surviving in here. But we have seeking the face of God, and fasting does not change God. Fasting changes. It make us go a little bit deeper in God, a little bit higher in His grace. So please join me if you are my follower. Join me in fasting. We fast from 5 to 5 in the evening. And we pray every evening. Saturday morning, we do it in the morning, 6 to 9. So in the evening, we are free. Sunday, we have our wonderful 2 services. And guess what? In the evening, we are still on Zoom. And I know that after these 30 days, your life will not be the same again. Amen. So thank you so much for joining today, and God bless you. And with that, you will see me probably the end of this month because I'm seeking God. Amen. So if you don't see me on Tuesday, it's for a purpose. And please prepare yourself for Unstoppable Conference this year here. It's going to be a little bit different. We have a wonderful man of God coming in October 30th. Then the Saturday, I think 1st November, that's when the Unstoppable gathering will take place. This year we're changing it a little bit, so it's going to be an afternoon, morning, early afternoon day for us. And so we want to salute all our women in ministry. We can't thank you enough. I don't know what the kingdom of God will be if we don't have women that are dedicated to the things of God. And that day is when we say thank you for all you do in the community, you do in church, you do in your children's life and everything. So please set your calendar. On the 1st of November, we are going to have Unstoppable gathering to say thank you for all you do. Then next year, God's willing, if Jesus doesn't come, we are going to storm Ghana. We're storming them. We are not going. We are storming Ghana with Unstoppable Women's Conference on February 28th. Now that I've said the date, I I can't change my mind. So I am in it. But with your help and with your prayers, I know God will give us grace to be able to take what God has done in the U.S. for 10 years to other aspects in the country and the nation and global. So thank you so much. Those of you who support Hands of Grace, thank you. The pastors say thank you. Widows say thank you. Children that are in school say thank you. So please, if you are not in partnership with Hands of Grace, help us to reach more people and to show the love of Christ to them. But once again, thank you this evening, and God bless you. And I will see you at the end of this month. God bless you. Bye.